Ready, set, yes. You are live. Did we do the intro or are we just live? I don't think we did an intro. This is great. All right. Did we skip the intro? Could somebody confirm? I told you I don't know how to do it.
We're already going viral.
All right. Let me see what's going on here. We are absolutely live. We skipped the intro. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Shawn Gavin with Tucker here, live on Waterfed Wednesday. We skipped our intro. So not only do I have no clue what I'm doing, but they just threw me to the wolves. It's all good. No worries. They're all apologizing in the background. All right. How's everybody doing? As you know, Waterfed Wednesday is every Wednesday, weather permitting, holidays permitting, life in general permitting, at 5:30 Eastern. Welcome to Waterfed Wednesday, where we go beyond the bucket and dive into the world of waterfed cleaning and answer questions about equipment, business, and our goals to help cleaners worldwide get the job done faster, safer, and better. Very cool. Well, as you know, I'm Shawn Gavin. This is my friend Geoff Shaw. Geoff is in beautiful Detroit, Michigan. Are you in a suburb of Detroit, Geoff?
Yes, our office is in Troy.
Troy, Michigan. I love that area. Absolute big fan of that area. So Geoff is a friend of mine, industry buddy here, and go back a number of years. Geoff, do you remember where we met? I was wondering this the other day.
Oh, I'm sure it was a Gary Maurer picnic, at least initially, and then I'm sure we ran together at some old IWCA events as well.
Awesome. Very cool. I am going to
I don't think we did an intro.
One more thing here. Did we just lose Geoff? Look what's happening. Everything is happening today. All right, Geoff will be back. While we're waiting for Geoff to find his way back, I'm going to give a shout out to Hallman's Window Cleaning. I got my hat. I got Hallman's on here. Geoff is working his way back in the room, and we're going to get back to having Geoff on the show. This is absolutely awesome. Geoff, I can hear you. Come on, turn your camera back on. So Gary Maurer picnics. Who else watching live has been on?
I'm back.
What are you doing?
Can you hear me?
I've already been thrown to the wolves. You don't have to add to this. Yes, I can hear you. Geoff and Shawn are live. This is perfect. So, Gary Maurer picnic. What year do you think that was? Can you hear me, Geoff? Can you hear me? Rebecca, this is great. Can you hear me? Geoff, can you hear me? How about now? How about now, Geoff? All right, Geoff, you have yourself muted.
Okay.
There's a mute symbol next to your name. All right, I can hear you. Can you hear me? You've got yourself muted. Everything was working perfectly. Why did you fool with it? Oh, we should bring Jairus on. Jairus wants to join. She has the link. We should bring her on and ask her how it's going. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Jamie's on. Jamie says, gotta love technology. Absolutely love it. See? Geoff needs a team. I got a team. They're in the other room laughing at me. All right, let's see. I'm about to remove you. I got to get rid of you, man.
I'm gonna leave and pop back in.
All right, come back. I'll try and maybe we should do our intro music now. All right, Jamie, how's it going? Jamie is our Michigan-based sales consultant for Tucker. Jamie had a busy week with Black Friday week this last week. Yeah. Detroit. We got Michigan in the house. All right. What else can we talk about? We've got a couple really cool traditional window cleaning related items that are going to go live tomorrow on our store. So please, Jeff's trying to come back. Please keep an eye out for those things. And we'll have a Facebook announcement. I think we have an email blast. But very cool product that I've been a fan of for some time. I'm going to try and add Jeff back to the stage. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me, Jeff?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Amazing. He's back, everybody. All right. This is going to go perfect for the rest of the hour. Yes. Okay. So Gary Maurer picnic. For those who have never heard of or been, yes, we're doing better now. All right. They're coming from every angle trying to check on me. Jeff's the one that needs the help. I'm doing great. Gary Maurer picnic. For those who have never been to a Gary Maurer picnic or heard of the Gary Maurer picnic, how would you describe this event for our listeners today? Where was this event, first of all? Where was this held?
Well, I know how to pronounce it correctly. It's Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. And it was near Gary Maurer's house. And he was a pioneer in social networking for the window cleaning industry. It was really before Facebook and before he had an email group, I guess, where we would correspond via email. And he was a pioneer. I hope he's listening, or I hope he gets to watch this later, because great dude. It was on a ski hill at a resort called the Olympia Resort. And it was just a bunch of window cleaners that got together. And there was usually a couple hours of a presentation with something window cleaning related on a Saturday morning. And everybody got there Friday night. And we had a great barbecue lunch. Usually a vendor would cook that lunch, barbecue or grill or smoke some meat. And the rest of the day was chill. Some guys would go play golf. Some guys would fish. Concerts in the area. It was just a great time for window cleaners to get together, get to know each other. And I met a lot of great people there, and learned a lot as well.
Yeah, and the networking that went on was really cool in terms of getting ideas from folks and that kind of stuff. And obviously, like you said, that's probably where we met. I don't really recall. It was, great time, as they say. But the online community that he built was really the first of any of these kind of thought processes of, Facebook groups or anything. You literally had to email into an email address your topic. Then all these people that were subscribed to the email list would get the email. They would reply. And I think Gary had to filter the reply. I mean, it was just probably the worst nightmare of an idea on his part. But it was really cool because it was one of the first sort of online ways that you could advertise or get help from fellow window cleaners or otherwise. And I remember it was where I first started selling equipment to fellow window cleaners, right? And so it was a really cool place for me to get my start as well. I'm still fumbling through some of the technology here, so bear with me. So how did you get into the illustrious career of window cleaning, and about when was that?
Well, it's been 25 and a half years since I've been in the business. And it was a long time ago, but it was in a different business at the time. And we were subcontracting our window cleaning and gutter cleaning. And we had nothing but issues doing that. Guys that wouldn't show up on time, wouldn't show up on the right day, would, triple your invoice. The work wasn't great. And I always commented to my people at the time that, wow, I could do this so much better. Had the opportunity to get out of that business and got bored after a month or two and said, okay, well, that's going to be my next thing. And G&S Window Washing was born back in August of 1999.
Very cool. 25 years. That's a really big accomplishment. My buddy Sheila celebrated 25 years this year as well. So very cool. Yeah. So, we hang out quite a bit outside of the window cleaning circle. Our businesses both happen to allow us to have some free time, and we bless those around us, so we're able to kind of do what we want with the time we have, and a lot of that time is spent historically by me, honestly, venting to you about my issues over the engines of your boat, right? And so I think one of the great things that came to be on one of the trips was when you introduced me to EOS, and I remember you kind of mentioned it sort of like not like, dude, you got to check this out, right? But sort of like I was talking about something and you're like, have you heard of EOS? And I was like, no. And you were like, well, you need to check it out. And then we moved on. And then like a year later I came, and I think I was probably complaining about the same problem like a year later. And you were like, oh, you didn't do it, did you? And so one of the biggest things for me that really has helped over the last couple of years is implementing EOS. Can you take a couple minutes and maybe talk about EOS? I know you use it in your business as well. I mean, what is EOS, and what has it done for you? And what are your thoughts on EOS?
So for the uninitiated, EOS stands for Entrepreneurial Operating System, and it's born from a book by Gino Wickham, who's actually a Michigan guy. I love that. Thank you, Rebecca, if that's you.
Nice.
And
yes.
Great book. That's from my phone. And I got to give a huge shout out to a guy I met at the picnic, Steve Miller, who had a business in near Lansing, and he's since retired. And I hope he listens to this. He was kind of a friend and a mentor, and had a bigger business than me at the time. But he handed out this book to a few of us, like in the parking lot at the Olympia Resort, and it probably sat on my shelf for a couple of years before I got to it. And I read it, and it was a tough read. It wasn't available on Audible back then, so I read tough read. My original copy still has a lot of notes and torn earmarks and pages. But so Gino Wickham basically wrote this book as like the baseline for operating a small or medium or even large size business, and it's all about accountability and structure. So today's Wednesday. So in my business, we had our level 10 meeting today, and it started at 10 o'clock, not a second later, and it ended at 11:30, and everybody was there. And we followed the same agenda that we follow every single Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And you have to read the book. It describes that agenda in detail. And I know you know, Shawn, because you did it. And I know where we were sitting when that happened last year. It was last summer in St. Clair Shores at the, I think it was the Yolk and Toast breakfast place.
Yes.
And, I sent you probably that same screenshot to your phone. And then a couple of weeks later we talked and you said, dude, this is going to change my life.
Yeah,
well, sounds on the phone.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, the reality of it all is that it's like anything else that you get introduced to, right? The first time for me, I was like, went in one year, went out. For you, Steve, who I met a number of times, over the years through the IWCA, like you said, great guy. He introduced it to you, and you kind of put it down, and then you had to have that aha moment where you went to it. But even then, it's about the implementation of any of these things, right? You can read the next greatest thing, but if we don't take action on it, we really don't get anywhere. And I think that's the idea there behind the word traction, right? Like if you act on it, you really start to build. And our leadership L10 is Wednesdays as well. And it really works well for me because as the business owner, I might have some things at the beginning or the end of the week where I kind of say, okay, I'm not going to be in. I know you do your thing on Friday where, for you, that's kind of, I'm not in the office on Friday for you, right? So, and we do it on a department level too. We do a sales and marketing L10 for our organization as well that Rebecca heads up on the sales and marketing side. We got a couple chime-ins here. Hey, Les, how's it going? And looks like Jeff's mom is on. Hello, everybody who's on. So very cool. What other books have you dove into lately that you might want to mention to folks that they should check out or have made an impact in your business and in your life?
Oh, the most recent one I read was Extreme Ownership, which was fantastic. And I don't think I included that, Rebecca. My goal is 26 books a year, every year, for many, many years. And I haven't counted lately, but I'm sure I'll be above that this year as well. Don't watch TV. Don't listen to a ton of music, but listen to a lot of books. I read some, but I listen to a lot. Audible. We have 2 Audible accounts. I have one for myself personally, and I share with my wife. And then we have one for work that we share with anybody who wants to listen to our books. So that was a good one. 5 Dysfunctions of a Team is something that we mandate anybody that's going to be interviewed or want to be hired into our leadership team, that they have to read that book. I think by the second interview, Brittany, who, I'm the visionary. And if you read the book Traction, you'll know what that means. I'm the visionary in our company, but our integrator is Brittany. And you know Brittany, you've met her several times, and she's just a fantastic leader. And she's been with us for 16 years. So she's our integrator, and she loves that book as well. Excuse me. And it just teaches us how to communicate. It teaches us how to be vulnerable. And those 2 things are just so important when you're trying to get something done. You've got to be able to be vulnerable, and you've got to communicate effectively.
Yeah, I think vulnerability is huge. And as the leader of the company, if you're vulnerable and people around you are vulnerable as a result, those are key people. That's been my take. If they get uncomfortable with everything and it's sort of like this is not really connecting for them, then it sort of throws up some red flags for me. And it kind of, the reality is we live and breathe this stuff, right? So we come here, we're in our businesses day in and day out, and we have to be able to be exactly who we are. And I think that vulnerability piece really allows us to do that. I see a note here about the 3-legged stool. Talk to me about that visual.
So Jarrett Banbury has been working with us for a long time as well. Shout out to him. He's got some great window cleaning art as well. But the 3-legged stool is a book. If you're from the Midwest, you know the store Meijer. Meijer is like a super Walmart in comparison. They got groceries, they got camping equipment, they got TVs. So Fred Meijer was a Dutch immigrant, and the book was about building his business and about his family. But the one big takeaway I took away from that book, and I almost always have at least one takeaway from any book I read, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. So his was the 3-legged stool. So they were Dutch immigrants, and when they built a new barn, back in the teens or 20s or 30s, they didn't have a cement contractor. They went and bought bags of cement and mixed it up in a bucket or a wheelbarrow and slapped it on the ground and smoothed it out as quick as they could. So when they put a 4-legged stool down and milk a cow, that thing was wobbling all over the place, and they couldn't hold themselves steady. So his forefathers came up with this idea that they would have a 3-legged stool, because a 3-legged stool, you can shift it one way or shift it the other to sit firmly on an unbalanced surface. Our businesses are unbalanced surfaces 24/7. So our leadership team and our systems have to be able to twist and adjust and fit on uneven surfaces and handle all those things that might come up.
Yeah, very cool.
And that picture hangs in the wall in our conference room.
Yeah, he's a very talented artist. We recently connected on Facebook, and I've known him for a number of years just in being involved in your business. And, he's a very key, integral guy. The artistic piece has just been introduced to me over the last year, I would say, and incredibly talented. He
did 4 we don't want to talk about this too much, but he did 4 window cleaning pieces of art. And I know Mike at Detroit Sponge has the ability to get them and sell them. I have them in my office in the foyer, and Jarrett was kind enough to sell me the number 1 print. So I think he made 40 or something like 50 prints. I have the number 1 of each of those 4. So yeah, he's fantastic. And hey, it's our business, right? You got to have some art.
Yeah, it's very cool. Shout out to Mike at Detroit Sponge. known Mike a long time. Mike is one of the great guys in the industry. If you ever want to talk to a guy and just feel like you're absolutely speaking to somebody that you can trust 100% what he's saying, that is a dude right there that is not out to take advantage of anybody or send them in the wrong direction. So if you're ever looking for traditional supplies and that's a regional supplier for you, big shout out. Talk to me about this famous photo of David Phelps and your thoughts about quote unquote competition.
Yeah, so this is another one that hangs in our shop. It hangs in our office, in the bullpen, and up in our conference room. And it's just a reminder for people to stay focused on what they're doing. It's a reminder for me. I have friends around the country that are in the window cleaning world, and I hear often that, oh, we didn't get this bid, or our sales are down, or there's this new Bucket Bob in town, or there's this new franchise, they wear short skirts and they're kicking our butt. And I always think, like, I don't really know who's new around town around me, because I'm too focused on me. And if you look at that picture, it's the French guy in the green cap, if you want to pull it back up. But if you look at Michael Phelps, he's in the blue cap in the forefront. He is laser focused on the end of that pool. He has one thing in mind, and that's getting to the end of that pool. For me, that's meeting the budget that we set forth last year for this fiscal year. The French guy, he's not thinking about that end of the pool finish line. You know what that French guy's worried about? He's worried about Michael Phelps. I don't want to be the French guy. I want to be the guy focused, laser focused on the goal that's setting. We say that to our guys in the shop, a lot of wah, wah, wah. Well, this guy got a good route, or this guy gets the good truck, or in the office, that person gets this task today. This person gets that task today. Just do the task that you have to the absolute best of your ability, laser focused on success. Don't worry about anybody else.
Yeah, I find your number one competitor should be the person in the mirror, or your business in and of itself, right? I mean, to your point, right? You set these goals and all you have to do is focus on that. And it's an interesting photo because the angle that it shows makes it almost seem like the French guy has a chance when he's looking. But if you take the photo from the angle of like understanding the distance that Phelps is ahead, the fact that he's looking, he's realizing in that moment, it's already over. And you cannot refocus at that point, right? The fact that you focus on your competition, it's just never good, and it's always been something for me where my mentality is that I feel like even if it's competition based, right? Like I'm gonna compete. I'm driven that way, but at the same time, for me, it just always has felt innately to me like there's enough of the pie to go around anyway. So why would I even focus on what someone else is doing? I hope they're winning too. I want everyone to win. So what's the point of worrying about whether or not they are or not, right? I assume they are.
Rising tide's going to lift all boats. And,
there you go.
The other thing is that we can only control what we can control. I can't control what a competitor's doing, or if they've been a job where they're going to lose money, or if they've been a job and then can't service it. I can't control any of those things. I can only control me and what we're doing in our office and what my people are doing and this level of service that I'm providing, that we're getting there on time. We're making our customers happy. We're giving them a fair price and value for the money they're spending with us. So yeah, I mean, it's just so important for me, it's, when I'm worried about other people and other things, and I still do, I'm definitely not perfect in that regard, but it just adds stress to my life that I don't need. And my wife helps me with that. She'll say, well, why are you worried about that? You can't control that. It's like the weather. If it's going to snow tomorrow, it's going to snow tomorrow. We're humans. So we have nothing to do with that.
Well, as business owners, we just have so many other high-level things to be worried about anyway, right? I mean, even if you hired somebody within your organization who was focused on the weather because they got to plan the trucks and the routes, sure. But the reality of it is it's the least of your concerns because it's been handed off, or you're blessing someone else's life to worry about that, and that's their role within your organization. So at the top, if you will, of the organization, you just can't let all that in because we're the ones with everything to lose, right? So when we start thinking about all these outside influences and forces, it really affects everybody below us as well. So it's important that we're not in the weeds from that aspect as well. Talk to me about this concept of SMART goals.
Goals. Well, goal setting is huge, right? So to make, and I didn't make this is in many different books and documented all over the world, but you have to make it specific, you have to make it measurable, you have to give it a time limit, you have to make sure it's yours, you have to put it in writing. Those are just the 5 real key things.
Pretty simple, right? I mean, but
Yeah.
the reality is people will say, well, my goal for the year is to do X. Well, how are you going to accomplish that? You got to really break that down. Is it by the week? Is it by the month?
Yep.
Is it by the quarter? And you really have to have that measurable, and putting the people around you that are going to force you to do that as the visionary, as you said, really kind of engages us from that level as well. And having those people that can continue to focus our energies on what we're going to accomplish on a week-to-week basis is huge.
Oh, just massive, and you have to have reasonable goals to begin with. But yeah, I mean, if we've been doing it a long time, 25 years, like I said, 25 and a half years. So when we set a budget, we go into planning mode and we break it down literally by week and sometimes by day and working days in the year, and 2,080 hours for your crew and your bullpen. And yeah, I mean, making it specifics really, really important, and just having goals. And it's amazing what you put down on paper and make as a goal. It's amazing how you can reach them. I'm watching my wife do some goal setting and achieve some goals right now, and it's just fantastic. She went to see Tony Robbins a little while ago, and he talks a lot about goals and just changing your mindset, and it was fantastic.
Very cool. Very cool. Anything else you feel like you want to touch on as we approach our top of the hour end here to the podcast today?
Just building the culture. I mean, EOS and Traction, and even before EOS and Traction, we did our best to build a good culture in the business. We want to treat our people well. We want to treat our customers well. There's customers that we just don't want to work with. Man, we have a nice letter we send that says, we don't want to work with you anymore. Best of luck. Maybe we'll even make a referral for them to somebody, maybe serve them better. Employees the same way. Sometimes you have that person there for a month or 2 or 3 and just realize, wow, this is one unhappy person. They're not getting what we do. And you got to set them free to go find what they're passionate about and go do it. And that's really important for culture. And we talked about books. Just a work ethic, having a good work ethic. I only work 4 days a week, but I probably get more done in 4 days than I used to get done in 5 days because my work ethic changed. I'm the son of my father worked for Xerox pretty much his whole life, 30 something years. And my mom always jokes because he would win they had the Iron Man award back then. And he's long since retired, but he would win the Iron Man award, which was, showing up to work the most consecutive days and not missing a day and not coming in late. And she would joke, he'd get up and be hacking and half dead and throwing up all night. But damn it, he was going to work because that Iron Man award was important, and he had a work ethic. And he probably learned it from his father too, my grandfather. But I certainly tried to teach that to my son. And you've met my son and spent a little time with him. He's got a great work ethic. And I try to encourage that on everyone on my team as well. Just have a good work ethic and do what you say you're going to do to your customers, to your employees, and people will respect that.
Yeah, very good. All right. Well, one last thing before we let you go then on this not I, not you image you sent over. Rebecca, can you show that and touch on that one for us, Geoff?
So the top line is in Dutch, and I'm not even going to try to read that with any kind of Dutch accent, but it translates to English to not I, not you, but we. This is how we tackle a lot of problems and issues at work. It's really a singular one-person thing. It's quite often an issue that we need to talk about collectively. We need to make decisions collectively. We're not a democracy. We don't take a vote, but we do have to have buy-in from everybody on solutions that we have. So I always try to think about that. I'm not a dictator. Even when sometimes I'll ask questions in meetings with my people, and they'll take it as a dictate, and I'll say, no, that's a question. That's not an order. And then we get into a discussion and find a good solution. Because I'm wrong sometimes. Technology especially, Brittany corrects me often, says, no, we got to do it this way. And I always back off and I say, okay, you know what you're doing. You're going to get this done. So it's not I, it's not you, but it's we.
Very cool. I love it. Well, thanks for your time, brother. I really appreciate having you on the podcast. And tell your lovely wife hello for me, and have a good rest of your week.
Love to Iris. Thank you, Rebecca, and everybody else for helping.
All right. Very good, brother. Take care. All right. So that was Geoff Shaw. Technical difficulties and all. Good long-time friend of mine. Glad he was able to be on the podcast. And this is somebody that has been an influence in my life. As I mentioned, I go there and I'm venting about this or that. And, you have to have those people in your life that hold you accountable and want to see you grow. And Geoff has been one of those for me. Obviously, he's been around a long time and been involved in a number of different things. And I'm grateful for that relationship. So a couple outro announcements. Like us on social media, subscribe, and please, if you have not already, leave us a review on Google. Google reviews are very important to us. Obviously, we're trying to do a great job. So if people are looking for great products and you've left a Google review, that helps them find us. And again, I'll touch on tomorrow. We have a couple of very cool trad-related products coming to the market. So keep an eye out for that. I'm really excited about a couple of these things. Not things we're making at Tucker, but things that I've been keeping an eye on and have had designed for us specifically for the window cleaning industry. And we'll be launching that tomorrow. And next week on Water-Fed Wednesday, we have Alex will be back. And he will be on with our guest, Patrick McCleary, with Divine Window Cleaning based out of Chicago. That episode is A Clean Start, a window washer's inspiring journey. So thanks again. I really appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you next week. Take care.